Good morning and happy Thursday. This is Jillian with AJeweldDesign, and we're back for our usual weekly journal with me. It feels like forever because I filmed ahead for spring break last week, and you guys got to see, my scrappy collage roll. That should have been last week, yeah. So, you got to keep crafting with me, but I got the week off, which was great. So then I had to think about what to do this week, and I went, well, let's go back to a little bit pulling from the Scrappy and getting back to the Botanical Journal that I introduced, feels like weeks ago. I said we'd come and go with that, and I feel we're back to that point because I worked on a new botanical kit, thought I'd add it to this one, but they definitely have a different feel, real different in color and everything else. So I'll give you a tiny little peek, but you'll have to come back tomorrow and see the full reveal of the newest kit. But the colors, the feel, is similar in the creams. Ooh, see, this is the new kit, right? Really pretty creams. The cream pages could go in here, and I think they'd be a great addition. But as a whole, the other pages are springier, brighter in color. They're not as muted or duotoned. They could, but I really feel that I'm looking at the, new and old. I really feel that these newer spring colored botanical wildflower pages have their own personality. And, so I don't think they'd go as easily as I expected. I mean, I really could, but being that these are irises, being that these are the floral bits of herbs for the botanical garden, and they're just a different type of wispy, a different type of long botanical things. I think I'm going to keep them separate. So, you got a tiny little peek, right? There's all this pretty that I get to show off to you tomorrow. So, come back tomorrow, and I'm actually going to do a Friday reveal and show you the brand new Botanical 2 kit, Wildflower Garden, and you get to see what our next project will be. Both digital, and then I definitely want to do a full journal, a thicker signature journal with the new kit. So that will probably be, the new kit's going to be a brighter, springier fabric cover, because we're going to put a bind on it, put a spine on it, because it's going to require 2 to 3 signatures for that. There's so many pages in that kit. I'm calling it a mega kit. This one, on the other hand, is a little smaller, a little bit more texture, and we're going to do a fabric, and actually I'm going to use this stuff. We're going to do a fabric tissue cover that I haven't done in a while. I did a mini version of it in Christmas, but I haven't done one since, what was the last thing I did? I did one. I tried to do one for fall, and it didn't come out right. I had a hard time with it, and ended up doing fabric instead. So we're going to try it again, and we're going to really get the fabric tissue running for this kit. Because I have all this tissue. I mean, I have all this texture, these creams, these browns. Add a little red, pink, red, and green, and lavender, and dots. We're going to really layer it up. And we're going to get a fabric cover for this kit, since it's only going to be a single signature. So today we're going to lay these pages out, decide exactly which order they're going to go in, what's going to go in between. And then if I keep it short enough, I will do we'll go into the fabric cover. So we'll blend into the fabric cover, and I'll sort of do it in a time lapse, and I will show you the layering process that I sort of throw together. I've only watched Gail do it many times in the past, so she's my inspiration and guru for that one. So definitely, gotta go through that. So we are going to journal with me today. We're going to work on the botanical iris and herb garden kit, and we're going to get this done. We're going to get the first of 2 major botanical kits and journals put together. Yay! So I already went ahead. I showed this to you sort of last time, a couple weeks ago, and I will link it here in the cards. So you can go back to the intro about what I was talking about and my plan of attack for this if you want. And I will link the reveal for this whole kit also at the end of the video. So you can go back and look at the introduction to this kit. And the link down below, of course, for the actual listing for it will also be in the description. So plenty of ways to look at this to refresh your memory of what this whole kit is. Though we will be using all of it. These are all the main pages. When we start decorating, we'll, of course, use the ephemera for it. So we're in good standings. But I went ahead and trimmed everything up. I'm going to leave the papers pretty flat, pretty simple. So I go to the full range of it. And the other pages will be ripped, torn, ragged, like natural feeling within it. So there we go. So I definitely want to decide what my inner cover page is going to be, which I think is this one. It has a bunny on the outside edge, but we do have the bunny in the corner. So I always debated. Oh, see, and there was this one. See, I don't have. See, this one was a potential also. I started out with it on this side and did turn around and throw it over here in the kit. So if you wanted, this could be a really cute cover for you. But there's nothing wrong with this one either for an inner cover. So, oh my gosh, there's options. Too many options. I didn't print the other one, did I? Yeah, I did do two. I decided that I wanted to give you both options depending on how you decided to do it. That this one could be on both sides. So in the digital kit, you have this and this flipped over. So, I don't know. I guess I could take this and do a little decor work and number and make it even more elaborate if I wanted for the inner cover. For the inner cover, what could be cute though is I will have to go find the print work for this one. And this one, if I printed it on a sticker sheet or on a vellum and cut it out, that could be really cute on the front cover. So right now I may be back inside. Okay. See, all these fun things are to decide, and that's sort of what throws me off. So I'm deciding on whether or not. So then maybe that will be my inner one. I'm going to decorate that one up. Okay, so we're going to make this the first one and get going, right? Just stop debating. Now, here's where things get fun. My cutter does not work well. And so I went to fold this, and as you can see. Now I may go back and trim all this once I'm all done and see. Find an edge that works and then trim it up. Okay, so there's page one. Woo. Options, right? So let's start with that. Here's all the fluff that I'm going to put in it, in between. That we'll go through in a moment. As you can see, I have my scrappy papers. I got a couple pages there. It is funny. I did the scrapbook. I took the pages. I took photos. I lightened them up. My printer still picks up a lot of blue compared to what they started out with. It's weird. I'm almost wishing I had scanned it in, but the whole thing wouldn't fit, and that was going to take me forever to scan it in. So, okay, so there's page one. And this is where I need to decide. Where I do have lighter colors and I have darker colors. I had asked about that. I said, what does everybody like? You know, do they like it lighter? Do they like it darker? And I actually got, the vote was that they liked the darker version better. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. Now, sometimes I will flip these around to where I get them more inside than outside, but we may stick to the outside version. Let's do one of these. I don't know. See, this was a possible potential middle. Yeah, I still, because I'm only doing one, I do still need a signature piece in the middle of the paper. In the middle of the book, which one do I want to fold outward? I have her on the cover. I think I'll make you the outside's light. It will make the inside light, maybe. So this will be my inside middle. I'll make that my signature. I'll try to keep in. So that will be in the middle. So we'll do that. I'll put that in last. And if I feel like I'm like too heavy one way or the other, I will start flipping these around to where I have, we're going to go every other, I think, too, with these, because I think that was my thing last time. I had all dark on it. When I first was thinking about this, it was all the dark on the, like, first, and then all the light, and that was very separate, and that didn't work either. So I'm deciding that I want to do, you know, the lighter cream mixed in with the darker. So we're going to go every other, which is perfect because it's dark, and then we end up with a light in the middle. Well, that worked, surprisingly. Okay, let's do here. I know, I still have such a bummer. I have this. So it'd be perfect to put a tuck on this side or a band on that side and cover up that weird print job. I don't like wasting paper. Really don't. Okay, so there's my middle. So the middle of my book. And the pages are definitely all different sizes, which in some ways is not a bad thing. I don't mind it too much. I really don't. I like the unevenness, even though it's cut all straight. I like sort of that feel. Okay, so we're thinking inside cover. We're going to decorate up a little bit. Then you have that. You have that. Nice part is you got the opposites, which leave a lot of decor to match that. Like if I find stuff that matches the sides, this leaves room for fun. Like over the belt, like over the page, maybe pocket here. This is really simple. And it's not upside down. I promise that it was designed that way. I think that one's that way, right? Nope, that is upside down. I'm like, nope, that is upside down. I'm like, no, that is upside down. There we go. There is an up and down, but I did these where this was up. The only thing that was upside down was the pink line in the middle. It's a nice little decor. Then we go to the cute little bird, or not bird, little mouse. So cute. And then that one is blank because we have the inside with the bunny and the paper. And then I think what I always didn't care for was that there was so much plain on this side. So then it's all plain on this side, which I guess is what you want, right? You want your tuck on one side and tuck on the other. So that does make sense. That way you're decorating left and right and you're not all decorating one side. There's that. And that and that. So funny. I thought I had... I'm like looking at my kit going, am I missing a page? Oh no, they're there. It's like I had butterflies on this. Oh, it's on that side. Okay. Like I never had butterflies, see? On the opposite. I'm like, there's butterflies there. Where's my other butterflies? There they are. Alright. No, I'm actually pretty happy with that. Okay. So now we know that the extras, the flip outs, whatever we do, are going to be on this side. With maybe a little bit on here. Words, little tags might get added here. But we're going to be belly band pockets on this side. Belly band pocket tucks on this side. Leaving these to be decorative. Alright. Okay, so we've got that. But now we got to do all the stuff in between. And I was debating on throwing 2 of my signature pages that I liked into the mix, but I was going to definitely do the distressed cutting around it for something different. But they are really blue. I mean, don't get me wrong, it definitely changes up the feel. And they're all raggedy and fun. And well, let's cut them down somewhat and see how that pans out. Now I got to find my cutter. There it is. Okay, let's see. And as usual, double check because I want to make sure I'm still in frame, make sure everything has not shifted too badly. And then it's really out there, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to adjust you a little bit. Just look, I realize I'm probably half out of line. For once I went the other direction, didn't I? Okay. Alright, but I want to make sure I don't get too... How far high up do I need to go? Where am I? So I'm trying to make sure I'm not out of frame. Okay, so yeah, not much higher than that. Okay. I don't want to get too high up and then you see nothing, and I don't want to get too low and, you know, again, you see nothing. I don't know. I'm like, I really like that one, but I'm not sure about that one yet. Maybe just do one of everything I find. I love this one. It's just so... I zoomed in on the page where you can see the rips and the shadows, and I thought it was really fun. So we're really going to utilize all this and rip it up. So hopefully you have a great week. Some of you are on spring break this week. Some had spring break last week, or even sooner. Depends on if you have kids, don't have kids. Of course, if you work and there's no kids, then, well, you know, spring break may not affect you, but you may take time off. You may travel at this time of year normally. You can travel. Woohoo. You found things to do. That is awesome. I know my husband really wants us to go camping here, you know, by June when the kids are officially out of school for a little while, but we want to go back out and go camping again. We haven't been in 2 years, and we were supposed to go. We debated on going last year, but with all the fires, that definitely wasn't happening, and COVID. This year, we can't go where we want to go because it's pretty much, you know, dilapidated due to the fires. There's nothing left. Okay, so that definitely puts it on that side and that on that one. Okay, so now we got to decide where we want to put this interesting page to break up everything else, right? So we've got 1, 2, 3. Let's see what it looks like here. I sort of like it. It goes with that, but not. There's that, and then it's the other side. It's opposite of that, so that'll make it fun. Okay, we'll give it a shot. Okay, there's that one. So this is where I'm going to start adding texture and rips and tears and trying to get things not too perfect. Alright, then I have the Edith Holden pages, which are not as big as I thought, but folded in half, there'll be a nice insert, and I think I'm taking the outer edge here, because outside of this one, these are all really pretty coloring in the flowers that I want to add to the other kit. There's a lot of white in the other kit. It'd be nice to have a contrast of cream with some of these colors that definitely go with the other kit. So this one's pretty simple, a little creamier, a little lighter in its nature, and so I'm thinking, I know, I don't want to trim it though. I'm like, oh, there's the whole page, but it won't hold up. So we're going to carefully pull them apart. We're going to cut them apart, and we're going to fold them in half. Which, yeah, I really thought these were bigger, because I've seen some where they fold them down the side, but gotta get past that idea of whatever. Okay, come on. Whoop, there we go. Okay, so, like I said, hopefully this week's been good to you, as I'm getting back in the swing of things. So I've got this going. I finished the Wildfire Botanical Kit, which you guys will hopefully come back and watch tomorrow. So now to decide, I want that as the outside. Okay. You'll come watch that kit reveal, because that was a lot of fun, and I'm got more and more coming with that one. And then this is April. I wanted it just for the text. I don't know whether to put the, do you see that on the inside? Or do I want that, which, I don't know. I'm so literal sometimes. It's such a butt. Do that on that side. Get to the back somewhere. You're going to see that. Those are tadpoles. Or, yeah, froggy information. Okay. And then that would be on the outside fun. Which opposite could be fun? Okay, well, we're gonna commit. Okay, so we can go inside to the cowslip. Maybe do the first page in, and then do, like, right before the signature, we will add this one in, which is good because actually with all this background paper and no reel, this would be great to work into something. Okay, so we've got those two, which I'll have to do my best to keep them in the middle. If they slip a little bit, I guess it does help with some definition, right? So there's, yes, so front and right before the signature. Okay, so that gives, yeah, some good. There is a pattern to all of this, but you know, I try to make it like every other. By the time I'm done, I think we'll have one on every other page. So this is pretty eco-dyed paper from handcrafted by Gigi, I think it is. She had some pretty papers, and I thought a little bit of pink in here to pull from this is a good thing. We're going to let it stick out, even though it's not perfectly folded. That's okay with me. Now, when I was doing the other kit, I started scanning in some pages. I'll have to distress or decor the back, stamp it or something before I signatured in. But I think another bit of another page of, I'm going to do something else with it. I'm wondering, I keep thinking, I thought, oh, these just half pages, and I'm wondering if, let me hold on to this and make something else out of it. It's just another page of like the same size. I'm not getting a lot of definition in that. I don't know. I think I'm going to hold on to that because there's something on the back. Maybe I'm going to tweak this, and we're going to do something. Maybe I can trim it and do something else with it. Make it decorate it up and make it like a fold over edge, something. So we're going to use that as ephemera. We're going to work onto that into ephemera. It's like I have all this stuff where I either cream, green. I did want to make a couple fold over interesting pockety things. Now this one doesn't have anything on the back either, so maybe this is a good page for that. I was debating on trimming this down because it's just a pretty color. But it is not the color I want. Let's see, do we have a minty color on anything? We do, I know I do. I would want it to bounce off a page that had the right green. That's almost that. Nope, nope, nope. Maybe it's on the other side then. Because the green is very yellowy green, not teal, not a tealy green. Not really, huh? Well, maybe not. Maybe I gotta find another envelope. I have all these envelopes that I wanted to do. Well, what the goal was. Okay, let me go back inside. Maybe we need to put in the back too, because it's getting heavy, and it will flip out the other way. I have this great embossed paper. I was gonna cover the top, because there's writing on it. Cover it up, distress it, and then so you had it folded in, and then you pop it open. This would be decorated on the page, and we could stuff some things in it. I like adding envelopes into my thing as a flip out, and I have that page there, and that would be the perfect, because even if I laid it out, put a belly band on here so you could tuck this way and tuck in, it'd be a nice thing. So I just need a different color. I have more, plenty more. So we'll find another. Ooh, I have a peachy one. Oh, that would be pretty. Hold on. Give me a sec. Oh, that's better. Oh, look at that. I like that. Yeah, my daughter. Yeah, I've been keeping these envelopes. It's so funny. Because they're just great for it. And so when I trim it, I can then cover that up accordingly. But knowing my daughter made this one for me. Cute. Though, then again, if I ever sell these, right? I know, I designed it, of course, to how I think I would want it. But that doesn't mean someone else wants it. But you have to sort of do something, right? Okay, so peachy in color. Where? No, I think that one would still work there. It'd help pull some of the colors from there. Okay, so we're going to put that together here. And an ephemera. Oops, either way, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so I'm gonna semi-insert this in here because I know it's gonna go there, right, for weight. Because we need to see how we're doing, because then that is going to do it to where it opens up. Which I also have to make sure I trim it. I have to trim it everywhere, don't I? I've got to trim it down. And then I think I have to trim it this way, too. Because it won't fit. Unless we get crap here. I'll try not to get out of it. Unless we do this. Here's a thought. It flips out. And it tucks in and it tucks here. So I glue up here, so it's sort of a double tuck. We're going to put a belly band or something creative here. So a lot of ways to tuck stuff into this corner. Does this still fit? It will. And I'll just have to trim it. Trim it down. So I thought it would just be a great way to use it. But I may be decorating this up completely and putting this elsewhere. Alright, nope, change of plans, right? Always a change of plans, but we're going to pop. So it's going to open up, have all this stuff tucked in. Unless, of course, see, we could do it that way. Nice page distressed. And then you tuck in here and you tuck in here, so everything is just layered inside. Alright, there we go. We're going to do it. We're going to decorate that up that way, because I have more scraps. I have so many scraps left over. Alright, so there's that. So that definitely adds thickness to this. Crazy thickness. Alright, so there, if I have that on that end, then I've been known, right? So that's a full one. I need one that's not so covered. All of a sudden I've been putting on both sides. So there's one that's not heavily worked on. I like this end where I can decorate it, but I can leave that neutralness and then completely cover the inside with fabric scraps. Or not fabric scraps, with paper scraps, which I have plenty left over from doing the scrappy papers. So now this gives me an option. Okay, fold in half. I can do it. No, this one, yeah, I cover the inside. It does get folded down the middle. It's not something that I attach, and it is something we'll do it on this end too. I do this with it. So I open this up. It's just right. You tuck in, so you can tuck something in here. And tuck and use it. I can use it as maybe this time we'll glue it down. It's a belly band and a tuck here, so this is all decorated up. And then this side is just, I'll trim it up, punch it, cover it up, and it will just be a pocket. This is pretty brown that I just love with the nature of it all. So okay, we're gonna decorate that up. on both sides of that blue paper, I think. All right, so we have paper. We have Edith Holden paper, eco-dyed paper, repurposed bag, scanned thing that's open still to do something with. We've got paper, Edith Holden. Are we middle signature? No, we have more paper, right? Nope, middle signature, Edith Holden. Okay, so then we have that envelope, outer tuck. We have that pocket. All right, and then Edith Holden. All right, so the only other thing then would be to add. Now I've done vellum to these things, and I've done others, but I think it's just this pretty green paper that I will tear. We had a gap here where we had papers, right? All right, let's do this. I will trim around it, but we're gonna have that, or I'll hand rip around it all the way around, I think. So I've got green paper in here, I've got eco paper, I've got Edith Holden, I've got a pocket and a pull out, and then, but I have the tuck on this side. It doesn't open up, but right now it's just a tuck in here, and we'll see where other things coming in. Now I was gonna go really crazy with this thing and add this really cool texture just to have something in the middle. It's not really usable, but it's just crunchiness for fun. But I think I ran out of gaps finally. I really don't have a gap for it where I'm content with that right now. Nope, I don't think I'm going to. I think right now I'm almost evened out where I want to be. Yeah, no, I don't think I need to do that. That may be backward. Right? Maybe I'll use it as, maybe I'll just use it as, ooh, maybe it's on the outside of the cover. Maybe the outside cover. I use it sort of like a lace. And see, well, I think it's trying to get it glued down. It's so fun. I mean, I love it. It's this great, I don't know, it's just weird texture. It was weird texture, and I don't know, made me feel farmy, made me feel gardeny. So, okay, nope, I think we're good. Let's see how we're doing on page count. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to count that as 5 because I think I'm going to glue it down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 24 pieces. Well, 24 on one set, or 24 total at least. 24, and I think that's part of this one, so that's that side. But that means 24 and an outer foot, so it's almost 25 pages, I guess. 25 pagey inserty things. I don't have any doilies in here yet. Holden. Do I want to do a white? I only have white doilies, huh? My beige doilies are very little. So I wanted to offset it, but it's roses. And it's pretty, but it's roses. And it's white. And I mean, it's white. Definitely good contrast on those pages, depending what how I want to decorate them. I have some botanical stickers that I may just put on some of these pages in the corners just to give them. I could do some distressing on this to lighten it up. But it's a rose on it, and these are not roses. These are carnations. These are bluebells. These are rosemary or basil florals. They're seed packets. They're not lilies. What are those? I have to look them back up. But yeah, it's gardening. It's not. Okay, but once I'm not. Of course, I'm not sewing this in today. So I don't know. It might give it a nice contrast of color, maybe fun right there, or something different. If I distress it, let me add some. I have some. You know what? I have some. I'll try to tea dye it a little bit. I have some tea that I can spray on it and let it dry and see if that gives it some texture. So we'll do that. We'll add some tea to it, and we'll overlay it here. So there we go. A little extra something on both ends. But yeah, 25, 26 pieces. That's not bad. I mean, that has some weight right now. We don't even have belly bands or tuck. We're not even full yet. We don't even have it like decorated yet. So it is going to be a party. So and these range for the 9x6 concept. Because when it's sticking out, it's 5.5 out, and it's but it's 8 in. So we do definitely a 9x6 cover. So it sits inside the book, and it will, you know, just barely cover the outside of this until I get things going. I'll have to see if I have any. I may take some of this and make some ruffle pieces on any of the pages that I want to enhance or change up the concept. Add a little, you know, add a little something to them. Make little ruffles, little fabric ruffles maybe to add in like little spots. Or find, you know, these outer edges that depending what we want to do. So, okay. There is a plan of attack for this. Let me find my, where are my, hey, when I'm, we've got sirens going. Okay, so let's do this just so we don't lose what we've got going. As I'm working through it, I'm going to keep it at least that way together so I know what I'm working with and I don't lose that. So, okay, so that is the gist of the book so far. There's all the base pieces, what I need to work on, what I need to adjust and start decorating up on. Like I said, I'll sort of hand rip this down for texture. When we're ready, we'll totally do some work on this. But let's get the cover done. And it may be that, yeah, there we go. So as I go along, I will do snippets of the work as I'm working on this and adding it in as I'm working on the pink or peachy salmon envelope. We're going to do some snippets, and it may be a couple snippets put together. It may be separate snippets. As I work on sections of this, I will record it so that way we don't take a chance of having goofed up videos and not having everything like we did with the sepia series. That was sort of sad. We're going to be a little more careful about it. So, all right. Thank you for following along. We'll make this quick and easy. I will lead you now into the cover. Give me a moment and I will regroup, and then we will start the cover process today, since that's what I have prepped ready to go. And then next week we'll work on some of the more detailed inner pieces. So this is Julian with JWM, and I will be right back. Okay, as we get ourselves all settled in here, I definitely just went ahead and recorded this and figured I could talk to you guys over it, not knowing if it was going to take me, 30 minutes, an hour, or 15 minutes. So this is pretty quick and short to the point. It is a little low. Sorry, I ended up dropping, as usual. My camera settles after I start moving. But when you start this process, you definitely want to work on the back side of your fabric. Cover your surface with either parchment paper, saran wrap, something so you're not getting glue everywhere, but make sure you have paper towels nearby. And I think my biggest problem last time when I was working on this was that I didn't soak the fabric enough. The suggestion was to do, watch my hair there, 50-50, 50%, a 1-to-1 ratio on the Mod Podge to lick to water. So I filled it up, and then I tried to match, halfway with water, same amount in water, and mix it up really well on this. So that is the concept, where you just don't have pure sticky, but you're getting it wet. And I'm hoping this time around I got the fabric wetter so that all the tissues and stuff on top actually adhered to it. That was my problem last time. I went really really cautious with the Mod Podge and didn't get it wet enough, so everything pulled right off. I had to do a lot of glitter glue to keep pieces together just to make tags and bookmarks in the end with it. So I ended up doing it on cardstock. I ended up putting it on cardstock and stuff. But to get my fall cover for my portrait prints done, I gave up on the fabric part. So we'll give this another shot. It can be anywhere from a few layers up to like 15 or 16 layers of tissue. Now, I've watched Gail do this, and she usually uses the different layers in a napkin, because napkins actually have quite a few layers. I don't have a lot of napkins, not right now for decorative anyway. So I'm actually using tissue paper, as in the stuff you use for bagging your gifts. So that will be another interesting concept. I have a few pieces in here that are napkins. Purple one and a green one and a white with red on it that are napkins, and they are like the top layer of that napkin. But the rest of it's tissue paper. So let's see if that's going to get me in trouble or whether that's going to work. So the first is really just your base layering, trying to get a starting point. I went for a darker brown. I went for white. I went for cream. Started adding in green. so on and so forth. And my thing still keeps shifting. Sorry about this, guys. I will adjust this some and hope that it doesn't completely fall off the paper. Yeah, lots of fun. Trying to get to stick and not go over the fabric too much. Yeah. It won't let go of me. Try not to go off the fabric too much, but you want to cover the edges of the fabric, so it is a 50-50. Now the white is a tissue from the napkins. It's that last, sometimes there's 1 to 2 layers of white napkin underneath the decorative part of the napkin. And those are what, when you pull those off, it makes the decorative part a little bit more transparent. But then you have all these white layers, and they are just a good way to start your base and get your fabric covered and go from there. So I probably could show you guys this all over again from fall way back when, but I don't think I'll put you through that again. It's one of my first videos. You could go back and find it. You know, my trials and tribulations. So yeah, no. Now I did work on this, and while I was trying to upload this video, because it wasn't very long, because I realized I was getting quite a bit of Mod Podge on all of this, and I needed some of it to dry up. I did finally get to go in and add those other layers and finish it off. So it's drying, and I will either, you'll have to follow me on Instagram and see maybe a picture of it as it's drying. But I will definitely show you, of course, the cover when it's all dried and folded and ready to go on the next video. And we'll definitely give you guys a, hey, this is how it turned out, or it didn't turn out. Cross our fingers. I always worry. I did try to even, while this was going on, I was trying to do the tea staining on the doily so it wasn't so white. And I got it done. I was in the second layer. I was going to go do a third one. Well, the wind had picked up, I guess, and it blew it right off my deck. I have no idea where it is in my backyard. Some neighbor has some weird white doily sitting in their backyard right now. So I got frustrated, so I'll try again. So I put it on the other side of my yard. And I even tried to weigh it down. Apparently, I didn't weigh it down enough. It took off. Again. So, 2 down, 2 lost, not doing it again. So, I don't know. I may or may not try for a third doily. These aren't cheap. A friend of mine, gifted them to me, and I don't like wasting them. So, we'll see if we put a doily in this thing. Maybe it's not supposed to be a doily. Maybe we're not supposed to do doilies. I don't know. But with the fabric tissue, it is layers. It is trying to do snippets or scraps of it. So it's collage. It's ripped. It's okay if it's sort of crinkled up or even like bunched up a little bit. It gives you some texture. It gives you, hopefully when it's dry, more of a crinkly feel. Even though it's fabric on the inside, you do want that sort of crunchy feel maybe on the outside, or that noise a little bit on the outside, the feel of that paper, the feel of that crunchiness. So it is layers, and it's making sure everything's covered, and you just keep like marbling it on, right? I did goof though, as you'll find out. I started adding lighter colors on here, and then putting darker over it. So hopefully I didn't cover up too much of some of my favorite lighter textures. So this is about 16 minutes, and so I don't know. I was debating on speeding it up, but I figured that I could chat for 16 minutes with you guys. This wouldn't be a problem. But so far, yeah, everything's coming up, but not falling apart yet. So there's quite a bit on here. What am I looking for? Oh, I was debating on what, you can't even see me, but I was trying to see if I could, with a little trimmer tool, see if I could start trimming off the wet tissue off the edge of the fabric, but it just sort of bunched up. It's still too wet, and I didn't want to gunk up my cutter too much. So I went, nah, where I could, I started ripping it a little bit off the plastic, off the edge of the fabric, but I will wait. I trimmed it up a little bit as it started drying, so it's not too overly off the fabric, because I don't want to be like, oh, I have all this space, and then find out I trim off all the fun stuff later. That would be bad. Okay, so how are we doing here? I'm just keeping an eye on my screen so I don't run out. That's where the fun part. I forget to talk about stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm cramming at the last minute, right? I'm trying to tell you everything. Okay, so I'm grabbing color at this point, or I'm grabbing my textured lettering. Okay, so I'm down to this really pretty fabric that I got out of Carmel, and it came in a kit, or in a bag, I should say, when I bought some of my angels that we put up for fall and Christmas. And so I've had it for like 20 years. I'm slowly using it in these projects, right? If I don't wrap something with it, then I'm starting to put it in my journals and whatnot. And it's great because there's two colors. There's like this darker yellowy tan color with the reddish brown, and then there's a cream one with the same lettering. And so I figured I'd put chunks of both on here to start getting texture, getting layering of some kind of print. So there's the cream stuff, and I love it. Now this, I realized when I started laying it out, reminds me very much actually of the fall that I started with, that I tried to do for my Porch Prints journal for fall that I was working on. I started getting going, and I was like, oh, this looks familiar to me. I have a theme, I have a style that I like doing. But that, when I was done, was just the wrong colors too. It wasn't just that it fell apart, it just wasn't the right colors either. And so I had to, I ended up using it for journal cards. I made it into bookmarks, and it didn't go to waste. But I definitely have sort of a coloring style that I like, apparently. A very much similar concept. But at the time when I was designing all these digitals, it was the coloring, it was the feel for all of it. So at least, that's okay. It all works. But you really do. Later, you don't see that triangle. I realize I really have this great beige triangle or brown triangle on the bottom. I'm like, that's really obvious, those color schemes. But I look at it now and it's all finished, and I don't. It blends in. You can't even tell it's there. Like, this obvious triangle is not there anymore. So I started adding these lighter colored patterns. This is like a huge, like, cream over white rose pattern. So I want a little floral in here. And right now you're seeing the gloss of the Mod Podge, so it disappears for you guys. But it is actually there as it's drying out. I am seeing it under the layers. There we go. And it does stand out more, even though I started covering it up. I was supposed to put some green down next and then put these textured pattern papers over it. And as you'll see, I forgot to do that. I put bits of green in place. And in the end, it looks like it's going to work out because the purple is just as dark, like the brown there you see, where it's pretty solid. And so what can you do, right? But sometimes the best mistakes are the prettiest creations. So, and in the art world, that's what it should be. It should definitely be an accident. It should be a creation. It should just be put it down, get it done, and not like second guess, or even, I guess not second guess ourselves. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. All right, so I've got, the base colors for the cream. I've added some texture, so now I'm going to add another layer of texture, keeping in mind that from here on out, it's not going to be perfect. They're not going to be completely matchy on both sides, because yes, this right side is the cover. So I'm going to add a little bit more texture or more color to my right side, knowing that that's the front of the journal. That is the cover, just like we do with our journal papers. And then, yeah, you saw that sparkle go by, and that white and silvery sparkle ends up being the top layer to this thing to sort of mute out the colors because they got pretty crazy, and give a little bit of sparkle to it. And then I will probably glue more hard copy stuff to the top of that to keep the layers going for this book. I can still add texture to the outside binding even when it's folded. I can glue down cardstock, fussy cuts. Like, this is just our base. This is our base, this whole thing. So as you see, I put way too big green, realizing I was supposed to put all the second set of layers that I just did on top of the green, and I'm kicking myself. But again, like I said, it sort of worked. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. The tissue paper, not tissue paper, but actual napkin paper, gets really crazy when you are when it's wet. It's fun, right? My fingers literally peeled for a good half hour when I was done with this, because I use my fingers. I do not mind. I'm an artist, and between prepping food and doing art projects, my fingers are usually coated in whatever I'm doing. And as you can see, I'm getting low on my Mod Podge water mix. I have enough. I get through it all, but I had to go add more too. That was the other problem. I had to sort of stop early on this video to let it dry some and go make more Mod Podge water solution, because I was getting really low. I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I definitely decided to go heavier on the Mod Podge and the liquid this time. It's going to take a full day to 2 days to dry. So by the time I'm recording again next week, yay, it'll be dry. But yeah, I was running low on that too. I went to the edge. I went to the last drop when I was working on this. So I'm trying to add that color. I'm trying to make sure it's in place. Really trying to balance it out. Trying to keep that marbled Mod Podge, almost mosaic maybe, but without any real picture showing up, going along on this. Yeah, I was trying to decide how to do it. I had some spots where I didn't really do a lot of coverage, so I was trying to add more. Now I think it all trimmed all nice and pretty. I did on the fabric make it 10 by 13 so that you know, I had a nice clean area to work with. And yeah, I'm starting to think about what I'm placing on my right side, knowing that's my cover, trying to figure out what how it may or may not blend well. I'm not trying to perfectly even out like 3 on this side and 3 on that side, but I am trying to get, you know, nice globs of color that are look accidentally splattered down, but I know I have a thought process while I'm doing it. Okay, so we're coming down about the last 5 minutes, and I'm trying to see what little scraps I can use to just do hints of color everywhere, and not a lot, but hopefully I'm not going to cut it off when I'm done. I just realized that too. That little piece of green may not even stay on there. I'm like, if I went 10 tall, I got about ½ inch on both sides to cut off. So, or I'm going to decide the bottom's really great, and I'm going to take it all off the top. So we'll see. So now I'm going to add, I almost went all the way across and decided, nope, I'll just do a couple big chunks of this gold polka dot. It is definitely a tissue paper for wrapping. I used it actually in the My Porch Prince Christmas book. I took a Starbucks bag and Mod Podged tissue over the outside of it to cover up some of the elements of the Christmas Starbucks bag, and made it a Percy Clutch December daily for next year. And so that cover came out cute, but I ended up using this same sparkly gold dots on that too, and that was actually really cute. So this is going to be a nice addition, I think, to this too, to give some more pattern. I mean, we have pattern, we have lettering, we have gold dots. We'll end up with silvery speckles or glitter over it. We've got some green. We got quite a bit left. So I do get to add the purple in there. I get to add some red into it. And then the silvery white tissue with, the silver sparkles over the top definitely helps sort of mute it all out. So I can't wait to show you guys that next week. But I think we're about done. It's really wet. I'm out of goo. I'm out of wet. I wanted to dry a little bit to make sure it's not getting too dark when I'm done. I don't want it to be super dark and realize I need to put a layer of white over it before we do anything else. So that was all the colors I got to use, and all the texture and all the fun. And then I have some patterns and some goo, and we'll just go at this, again next week. I'll show you the cover. We'll start working on the inside, and I really appreciate it. So have a great day. Talk to you soon.